Hello everybody again. Now I have a 2011 or 2012 BMW 535 or F10 chassis, digital motor electronics or DME or the engine control module. I am going to program or clone this ECU to another one. I will show you how to get it done using the IM608 the easiest way possible. It's not very hard, it's very easy actually. This is the computer. Actually all the N20 N26 engines, N55 engines, and a couple other ones, they all use the same type of ECU, especially all of the F chassis. The ECU uses this type of ECU, okay? And these computers are not very hard to program. If you're using a donor one, there's a lot of aftermarket support on these type of ECUs. So let's get to it. So first we need to go into immobilizer section in here, accept BMW, then we will go to system selection, and we will go to engine, and in here we will have two options, OBD or direct. Direct meaning that we either going to do boot mod or we're going to do bench mode. So I'm gonna go to direct, and now we have three different options in here. Believe me, if you just trying to clone this ECU, trying to program it to to another car, you don't really have to go to the boot, and it's not very easy using the 608. It's almost super hard. I'd rather pay somebody else to come and do it if I'm not really experienced with it. If I have to, if it gets really down to doing a boot mod on it. But if you do have the same exact part numbers, you really do not have to do any type of boot, booting on this computer. We're gonna do bench mode on this one. But now, once we hit the bench, as you guys see, it will ask us what type of car is it. It's an F chassis. We have a whole bunch of different ECUs, and there's a Bosch. And we're gonna do read write ISN. I'm not gonna go there right away, but this is what we end up with, okay? EDC17C50 or whatever that you could, all the ones that you see in here. Our computer is this actually, MEVD or MEVD.17.2, okay? But how do we know that? I will show you how do we know that. I'm gonna back up from here, okay? And as you guys see on the sticker, there is no such writing, okay? To find that out, we will need this. We will have to punch in this part number into here to quick entrance. It's a pretty nice smart system. I have already entered in here before. This is mine, 0261 S06726, as you guys see in here, okay? Once I punch in this Bosch part number in here, I'm gonna press OK, and it will look for that part number to try to figure out what type of ECU we have. Perfect. Here we go. We have a MEVD 17.2. So and then it gives us two options in here, bench or boot. We do not need to do boot on this. I actually never had to do boot on this one, as long as you have the correct part number. So let's go to bench, and this is the only option it gives us, which is the one we have, and it gives us this options. And we will need a Gbox 2 or a newer version on this one, I believe. I'm not even sure if the Gbox 1 will work for this one. It might, I'm not sure. I'm gonna be working with a Gbox 3. I'm pretty sure the Gbox 2 also works for this one because I have used it many times before. So this is my ECU again in here. I'm gonna turn this around. I'm gonna do all the connections and we'll go from there. Okay everyone, so I did all my wiring to the DME. As you guys see, T1, T3, power, ground, CAN high and CAN low. Everything is hooked up, okay? So we are ready with the connections. The next thing I would like to mention to you guys is that on this BMW MEVD.17.2 ECUs, we do not need to read the flash data and write the flash data back to the original computer, as long as you have the same identical part numbers. And if you do not have the same identical part number, I would not suggest you to program it regardless. The reason for that is that, for example, this could be coming out from a N55 engine. There are, multiple different versions of N55 engine, right? So some of them using a different type of water pump, some of them are using a different type of alternator, and some other little components. So, and the hardware on this particular ECU keeps changing, and you might think, oh, they have the same exact engines, they're gonna use the same exact computers. Well, that is not the case. But if you do have the same identical part numbers, the Bosch part numbers that is listed right over here, the one that starts with 0261, continues as S06726. If you do match these numbers identically, okay, from the original one to the donor one, all you need to do is just read the EEPROM data, or it says in the computer as read ISN, and write into the donor ECU, and the car will start immediately. Your VIN number, your immobilizer data, everything will be transferred immediately. But at the end of it, as my experience, I have seen this so many times, even if I use the IM608 with this one, or even if I use my Kes3 or different type of programmers that are very professional about cloning computers, and you still end up with some type of EWS on this car. Obviously is a FEM module, CAS4 module, tempering code. Okay, but the car will still start, it will not turn on the check engine light and nothing like that. If you do know tuning, or you do know someone who does tuning, they can get rid of that code for you. It's not important at all. It will not affect the way your car is running completely. It will be totally fine. Okay, but you just need to make sure the part numbers are identical. All right, so let's go to the next step. So I'm gonna do read ISN. Once it's doing this, once I hit this button, it will actually read the D flash or the EEPROM of this particular ECU. So it tells me to keep the voltage above the 12 volts. It is very, very critical, guys. If you're working with, any programming on the bench, or it doesn't have to be BMW, it could be any vehicle that you're working on the bench or on the vehicle, you must keep the voltage above 12 volts, especially with BMWs. I would really highly recommend you to keep the voltage between 13 volts, even though it says in here 12 volts, it will still work. It is correct, but it is very healthy to keep it between 13 volts to 14 volts, and it must be as steady as possible. If your voltage is spiking from 14 volts to 12 volts, 11 volts, going up and down, you will have issues. You might break the module, and who knows. And so I would really suggest you to keep the voltage very, very steady. As you guys can see, mine is around 13.4. It's been staying there. I used a maintainer myself. I did a hookup. Basically, I have a device that actually can supply this kind of voltage constantly. It's not very hard to make. Maybe in the next video I will show you guys how to make that happen. Let's press OK. Actually, guys, before that, if you don't even have that, you can just put the 12 volt adapter from your hotel to the Gbox. It will be around 12 volts. It will still read it and write it, but it's kind of risky. So I would really highly recommend you to work on something that will keep your the voltage around this area that what I'm having right now. Okay. It should be very quick. It's gonna download a file. A file that will be able to make the IM608 read this particular ECU. Basically a protocol. All right, so it's gonna start communicating with the ECU now. It will try to convince it to read the EEPROM data. My voltage just dropped down to 12.68. That is weird. 12.82, 89. That is weird. But I'm still completely safe. I was really not expecting that, but I always have to watch for it. It is totally safe still right now. Alright, so yes, I will save this data right now because I want to read this data to the new computer, to the donor one. So let's just, I'm not really programming any card right now. I'm just doing this as educational purposes. I don't even have a donor one right now, so I'm just showing you guys how the procedure goes, trying to get the message across. So I'm gonna go right in here, just gonna write original. Let me see. Original, okay. Gonna save it. Decoding ISN number, here we go. So that is the individual serial number for this particular vehicle. I'm gonna press OK. So what I did right now was it just read the D flash or the EEPROM data, and that information is good enough to get the car started as long as you have the correct same part numbers. Okay, so as I told you guys, I do not have any other computer that is the same exact part number. I might actually have it, but in one of my boxes, I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure actually I have it, but the problem, I mean, the thing is in here that I don't really need to do that. The reason for that is this is very, very simple. I have done this so many times and it works every time. Like I have never failed on this one using the 608 on this particular ECU. So we have everything the same. So what I'm gonna try to do right now is that I'm gonna try to write the ISN number back to this one. So in your case, if you're replacing the ECU, what you need to do is that just disconnect everything from here, put the new one in. You don't even need to read anything from the new ECU, the donor one. I mean, the one that's from the junkyard, okay? All you do is just go to write ISN. It's gonna tell you the same messages. Writing is a little bit more problematic. Just make sure your battery is in good condition or your voltage supply is in good condition. Yes, it's telling you that you must have read this before, obviously, which we did. Okay, so we're gonna find a file that we just wrote in there. I mean, the one we just read from the original one, which is the same one, obviously. Okay, so blum 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 blum. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Here we go. This is the one. Can I hit this? ISN number. I do not remember which one is the one. I just read it. Not sure why is it asking me that exactly. I think, yes, I do know. While it's writing the file, it's not going to decode the file. So it wants me to put in the ISN number separately. Okay, let me find that ISN number one more time, and then I will punch it in here. We'll write it together again. Okay, so I have entered in the ISN number, or the original ISN number. I'm gonna press enter. I'm gonna press OK. Just gonna, now it modified the original file that I had. Okay, and it's gonna save it. That's fine. File saved successfully. Basically, it just saved the new EEPROM file with the new ISN number. I'm gonna press OK, and it's going to download a new protocol to be able to write this new file into this new computer. I mean, it's not a new computer. It's the same computer that I'm using, but it will be the same exact identical procedure if you're putting it into another donor ECU. If you do exactly what I just did on this video, you will be able to you will be able to start the car with this donor used ECU. All right, here we go. That is it, guys. This ISN number is written down now. Basically, all your immobilizer information, your VIN number is already in the new ECU. But now there's this little issue with this procedure. This ECU has a flash file in it, like I mentioned in the beginning, which will have your data as your injectors. That I'm not sure if it's only in the EEPROM data or is it also on your flash data. So after you're replacing this, you might also see some misfires happening on the vehicle. At this point, you might have to code your injectors to the vehicle, adapt your throttle body to the vehicle, and restart up your Valtronic system in the vehicle. It didn't really happen to me a lot of times, but it is possibility that it could happen, okay? Which could be done easily using a regular scanner. You do not need very high skills for that. All you do is just go to the service functions, DME, and then just run through all the procedures as all types of adaptations that will solve your issues. Okay, it's not very hard, which didn't happen to me many times. It only happened very few times. So it is a possibility. Keep that in mind. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day.